I'm preparing live stream. I'm gonna do an introduction and then she'll start it off and then we'll go from there.
And both people lost the that part. They still wasn't doing it.
I'm preparing live stream. I'm gonna do an introduction, we'll start it off and then we'll go from there. Is that it?
Essentially, what he's going to do is going to take the cut and I pick one, and then he's going to have a guess of the new law.
We will.
or the storm. We own that, just saying. Gary told us that. Go ahead,
You know, what's great is we've heard other brokers start to use that.
Yeah, they sent out some CDs just to a couple of national speakers, that's a lot.
I believe it. All right, number 21, super relevant to me today. It's not over till it's over.
Oh,
Yeah.
A part of success is surviving long enough to allow it to happen. Becoming an immovable object and never giving up allows success the time it needs to be realized.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Number 24, change is inevitable. Participation is optional. The world is always evolving and things are constantly changing. To accept this means you have the opportunity to play in the next business cycle. To ignore it means you're out.
The opportunity to play in the next cycle, are a lot of us feeling that right now? Do we see it as an opportunity, the NAR settlement, forms, all the new stuff? We say things like it levels the playing field, right? Go ahead, Joseph.
Another one super relevant to me today, and I imagine every agent who has Legion on their activity sheet. All work expands to fill the time allowed. When you give yourself all day to do something, it takes all day.
Yeah. You want something done, give it to a busy person. There you go.
All right, number 30, I really like this one as well. Success leaves clues. People have lived before you, and you are always best served to learn what they learned and build on that. The same applies to failure.
Wow. Okay. Are you done?
That's it.
Okay, all right, moving on. Thank you, Joseph Miller. All right, Donna, go right ahead.
Figure out what to do right now and line up your dominoes so that you knock down the biggest one in the end. Success is not simultaneous, it's sequential.
Did you get that last piece? Right? It's not simultaneous, it's sequential. In other words, there are things on the road to success that we know we absolutely have to do, and we have to do them in a certain order, right?
Okay. Number 28, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. Change your view of a point, simply change your point of view.
What's that? Yeah, that's actually an original ball that stayed in. All right, Brittany.
Number 22, the pressure of diamond. The biggest successes are forged by adversity. Number 3, your network is your net worth.
Your network is your net worth. We're in the network business, right?
Yeah.
John, would you like to read yours? Or are you still going to chew that up first? Hey, dude, that's not a one bite chicken. Seriously, you take 2 bites. It's okay. I know.
got a piece of my finger.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, number 10. Life is short. Get busy. Life goes by faster than you can imagine. Don't put off tomorrow what you can experience today. What are you waiting for? Number 2. Oh, I went out of line, sorry. Win the morning, win the day. Get the things you need to get done in the first part of your day. Everything else is easier. This is the 80-20 principle. Mornings are for the 20% that matter most.
Like that. Win the morning, win the day. Also trademarked by Keller Williams.
34. The people in your life either create a circle or a cage. People will show up in your life to either lift you up or hold you down, lock you up or set you free. Which group do you want around you? Which group are you currently in? 36. Your life is a byproduct of your lifestyle. How you live your life dictates the life you get to live.
Thank you, John Bentley. Next up, Tristan.
Clarity is power. When you're clear on where you're going, the path to get there becomes more certain. That's an old good.
Clarity is power, yes. Always very good.
Number 9, time is more valuable than money. Money can be replenished, time cannot. At the end of your life, would you like more money or more time?
Right. Ask that question if you've never. You can watch people if you've spent time around people that are in the latter part of their life, right?
They touched on that yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, business is a contact sport. Businesses are built on relationships and relationships are built on contact. And number 15, be, do, have. Determine who you authentically want to be and do what you need to do in order to have what you want.
There's no way you got that one. Is that the one you got?
I got it.
So be, do, have, so you know, became be, do, achieve. And Tara single-handedly led a revolt to change it back to be, do, have. No one, that's not why it changed back, right? However, she to enough people, she complained to enough people that when we changed it, and told everybody to change it, my phone blew up. All these people, oh, Tara's gonna be so happy. Anyway, yeah. Right?
I did it.
Well, oh, I know, I can't believe you got that. So, and tell the second story. Yes, sir. Go ahead and lead us off.
Number 33, believe people when they show you who they are. The actual people take it exactly who they are. What they say may or may not be.
Wow. Strong.
Then 35, you get what you tolerate. There's no such thing as a minimum standard. What you accept is what you get. If you have a low standard, you'll get that. If you have a high standard, you'll get that. In the end, you get what you deserve.
These bold laws are really just
I cannot. Oh,
next
Right in
level.
there. They're right in there. Mr. Sims, you're next.
Number 37, your power is your power. Lean into your strengths and give no one permission to take them away.
All right.
Number 31, life is an afterthought. All of your actions have an after you think. Therefore, what you think matters and it determines what you do.
What's that? Life is an afterthought because you always have to think about it first before you do anything. It's crazy, right? Okay. Yes.
And then success is simple, not easy. Success is the result of doing a few things the right way. This isn't easy because focus isn't natural and requires a focusing habit. In the end, successful people make peace with the process of simplicity and never let boredom derail them.
Wow. That's good. Gary, I've been in a couple of situations where I was in a room with Gary, and he said, guys, here's the thing. Success sometimes is boring. Because the things that got you there, the things you have to do to stay there, if we're looking for something fresh and new and everything else like that, there's and some of us say what we call it the grind, right? But Gary will tell you flat out, you know what, he's doing the same things today that he did back in 1984 when he started our company. It's still about relationships, still about talking to people, it's still about his value, the value he can deliver, and he still focuses every day on surrounding himself with great people. So, a little bit boring maybe, but at the end of the day, it's like sports, right? Gotta hit those free throws. Gotta get on base. That's not gonna change. All right, Sherry. What?
Number 20, I own things do don't own me. Things don't have the permission to define your happiness or your self-worth. They'll be attached to what you own and more later become your identity.
Wow, that is strong.
Number 17, to change your emotions, change your emotions. When we think of an emotion, it's actually experiencing energy moving through the body. So if you want to change whatever emotion you're feeling, one thing you can do to change is one thing you can do is do something different.
If you're sitting there and your mind's going south, right, the best thing you can do, or if you're feeling a level of anxiety or you're taking a particular hit a little bit hard and you're beating yourself up, the best thing you can do is take your phone, set down your pen, get up, go out and walk around the parking lot, right? Get into motion, right? Get your heart pumping a little bit, raise your heart rate a little bit. You don't want to do sprints or anything else like that. But we know, and science has proven, and there's so many things out there you can read that, your body will release a few endorphins the next thing you know, and you'll change your state, right? You don't have to sit there and waller in it, right? Get up, get outside, right? So you see me out there walking around the parking lot, that's what I'm doing. Trying to get over the earth, grab someone by the throat and choke. So, yeah, there you go. That's how this will go. So there you go. Scott, oh no, you got one more. Go ahead.
Yeah, along with the labor.
I can hold that over here if you like. If you don't have your glasses, I can hold it right here.
You can't please everyone. That's not the low part. your standards on the path to achieve your goals. Along the way, not everyone will be pleased with the decisions you have to make. While you would love to please everyone, because everyone is different, that stands in direct conflict to getting where you want to go, where you need to go. Keep an eye on.
All right, next up.
Number 16, business growth never exceeds personal growth. Your business can't grow wider than your character runs deep. So we'll follow up on that. So we'll say straight heat.
What's that?
The follow up on the bowl ball is straight heat.
Yeah. You gotta grow yourself at any level, and your business will also grow. You grow your health, your spirituality, your relationships, all those things, right? When you work on yourself, it will show up in your business. So when someone says something to you about growing and you need growth or you need more personal growth, they're not telling you to necessarily go out and buy a bunch of books and read them on business and things like that, right? The books you read and the things that you pour into yourself, they should be across an entire spectrum, right? From physical to mental health to emotional health, spiritual health, all of those things. Every bit of that will bring a level of enrichment to your life, which ultimately will show up in your business. The best version of you does everything better. So, yes, sir.
Number 19. This one gets me right in the back. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Time blocking is the only way to ensure that the important things get done.
Yeah. Time blocking is going into your schedule and blocking out the appointments that you know you need to set each week. That's time blocking. Blocking out the classes, the conversations, the coaching sessions, everything. And you don't just throw them in there as like a maybe. It's a set appointment that you have with yourself. Can you tell me of one person more important than yourself to hold an appointment with? It's not like it's you, right? And it keeps you accountable. It's how you hold yourself accountable. And just time block the most important things. Fill in the rest of the stuff with the stuff, right? The rest of the time with the stuff. So yeah, thank you. Dana.
5, fail to plan equals plan to fail. If you don't have a plan, you have no idea what the outcome will be.
You can't even track. If you don't have a plan, you can't even track if you're headed in the right direction. Think about that. Without a plan, you're just spinning, right? You might be going the right way, you might not, right? The plan, drop that pin, just like the GPS. Yeah.
Number 8, human being, not human doing. Who you become is more important than anything you can do. Are you a human doing, or are you a human being who does things? Is the issue of life who you become or what you do?
Well, that's it right there.
Number 11, believe more, fear less. Fear is an emotion of the future. It arrives when you don't know what's going to happen next. So when you believe in your goals and the strength of your plan, you become fearless.
Love it. Let's see.
Number
Round us
11,
out.
money doesn't change you, it reveals you. Money just amplifies who you are. Number 18, logic plus emotion equals best decision. Most people make decisions based on emotion and justify them with logic. The best decisions are made useful.
Love that. Love that. All right, team, there you go. There's your, you got a few of your foundational, a few of the old laws from previous goals, and you have a lot of new ones as well. So, I thought it was pretty cool that they gave us a little explanation of those. So you'll see more of that in the road ahead. Goal is set October 8th. October 8th.
That's October 8th.
Yeah.
And we will pause for a week and we'll be back in the saddle.
Okay. All right, so
That was amazing, though, thank you.
Well, Dana's got the winner. Winners.
oh, wait, we have a winner.
Let's see who's the winner. The questions real quick,
Yes.
and I'll give out the gift cards. Who controls government spending? The answer is Congress.
Yep.
Government spending. What's the key there? Who controls inflation? The Federal Reserve. What causes inflation? Supply and demand, consumer spending, low interest rates, or all the above? The answer is all the above. And finally, which of the following statements are false? The Federal Reserve controls mortgage interest rates. That is false. The Federal Reserve controls unemployment by increasing or decreasing the Fed funds rate. That is true. And the Federal Reserve is authorized to print money. Vote's favorite is false. The current Fed funds rate is 4.75 to 5. We have our winner. Wow.
Oh,
no, I don't know what you know, so I can keep finding and looking at your head on.
So what was that? What was, hold on, I got what's the number?
Yeah, tell her.
14.
Y'all trying to go off my age. I would have 13, but you're a Swiftie.
Oh, yeah, 13,
That's where I was going.
Yeah, I should have thought of that.
Birthday coming up. Justin Warren's birthday is coming up, and what he's doing 6 days after his birthday, he will be training one of our really good classes, the lead generation class. So be thankful that 6 days after his birthday, he wants to train us. That's pretty big. Bucket field. Does anyone have any bucket fields that they would like to announce for this week?
In the words of Joseph, 3. We can't move on.
I'll do the first one. Thanks to Sheridan and Dustin, as always. Dustin set aside some time with me last week and earlier this week, and he spent about 2 hours doing buyer consult role play. Doing those reps and getting in there and just having that conversation, it's very good. It's crazy how much you can retain just by doing the reps. So thanks to Dustin for that, and just thanks for Sheridan for just being an all-around stud as a team leader. Making sure everybody's accounted for, making sure everybody's getting what they need to get done. So thanks for the campus group.
He's not here, but maybe he's here. There we go. Anybody else have any bucket fields?
I got a bunch of bills. I want to fill, Joseph and Tristan's bucket. You guys noticed that they were out of the office for a couple days. One of the days that they were out of the office, they flew to Austin on their dime and went through coaching skills camp. Both of them have goals in their growth journey to become max coaches, and it's one of those things that we're super excited about because it represents them going to that next level of skill, right? Which ultimately trickles down into delivering more value to the people in our world and in the market centers and stuff like that. And it's not an easy journey, and yet I want to commend both of you for going down that path. So it's a big deal.
Great obliterating that.
What is that?
Yeah, he said.
Oh.
Gonna unfill your bucket.
No, I'll make sure I did. You know, okay.
Any other bucket fields? We have to have one more before we can move on. Yes, Tom.
I have to say, Sheridan called me with a question. And I had something I was really wobbling on, and he helped me see the clarity of it. So
Yeah.
I always
Teamwork.
appreciate Sheridan.
Teamwork.
Well, here it is, want to be in that place where you can go, hey, Bo, call Donna, and this is what he told me to do. Sorry.
Butt dialed me, and you felt bad about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, you wasn't listening to any crazy podcasts.
I have one.
Yeah.
I want to give Tristan and one of our agents, Eva Sanford, a shout out, Buckfield. They helped cover while the rest of our leadership team was at the region on Tuesday. And when you're out of office for trainings or leadership events and all these things, it's nice to have people have your back. So Tristan and Eva helped out in the board. Bo was also here, so shout out to Bo. While the rest of us could go have some fun and get some training and top grade our skills.
Awesome. I also have a bucket field, Donna. I made a mistake with you this past week. I would like to say thank you for showing me grace while I get that all corrected, and just your patience is really nice, and I appreciate you.
Always aspiring above and beyond at our closing to get things done.
Oh,
Anne-Marie's awesome.
Anne-Marie is amazing.
Guys, if you're not hooking up with Anne-Marie on your transactions, it is, I don't know how many times, the fact that she's here, she's in the office, have a one-on-one talk, sometimes she'll pull me in or someone else just to get some clarity around it and everything else like that, but, her and the team at Trifecta do a nice job. They do a really nice job. I don't know if you guys know this or not, the Market Center owns a portion of that company. So that the portion of the revenue that we bring to Trifecta, that goes into the pile of company dollar, which through the, just like all the other income and payout profit share, right? So, when you're supporting trifecta, you're also building the profit share pool, which ultimately that money's dispersed to our agents too, so that's a big deal.
Huge deal. Right. Bold is coming up. Everybody should be at First Step. We obviously just went over all the new bold laws. You can hear how different they are. It is important to your business. It is important to us that we get everyone there. We will get everything as far as if you need any kind of information. And if you do need information on, getting a scholarship, please reach out to us. We want to accommodate everybody in a timely manner. But First Step is free. Simple as that. We're going to offer you guys a dinner, well, lunch, sorry. It is free. So we would like to see everyone there getting any type of education that they possibly can to better their business. And even if it's a free resource, we want you to take advantage of that.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe it will be controversial. I think it's gonna ring true though. It's gonna cost you more money in the long run not to go to bowl. And that, I think, should be a bold law.
That's in your business.
There you go. Hey, remember too, if you're gonna apply for a scholarship, every launch, Max gives out, lots of $400 scholarships. You cannot qualify for the scholarship if you do not attend First Step in person, right?
Also,
So-
if you haven't registered for First Step, you see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Daniel.
No, it's good, it's good. It was, when, I was in Austin, Texas this past Monday, meeting with Gary, it was very important when they put the new First Step together, kind of has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? You'll leave that day with a couple new pieces of business, it was really important that it be something where you go, you show up. It's not, First Step's not there to sell you, right? It's to give you a complete day of high-intensity training. Kristen Romanetti, she does a great job. Yeah, so everybody should be at First Step. Be a great day.
They were bragging about her in Cincinnati yesterday.
Okay.
Kristen, they were bragging about how amazing of a bowl coach she is. Yeah,
Yeah, she's a beast.
maybe some.
All right, it's me. Just to add to Bold though, so if you're here and you've registered for Bold already, I need you to stay after team meeting because there's Bold bingo over here. So fun. So if you registered for Full Bold, I'll take you, make a fun video. You spin the bingo wheel, and you get a prize. There's like gift cards, books, lights, different white. So yeah, make sure if you're here today.
For the right.
So if you're here today and you've already registered for Full Bold, make sure you stay after, come find me so that we can get this done for you and you can reap the first reward of signing up for Bold. But yeah, so big thing. So the training calendar, I'm the one who makes it now. So I've been settling into that. And I asked a few weeks ago in the internal group kind of what you all wanted to see in October. There was a lot of good responses, and so when we went into our education meeting and planned out October, I think we have a really solid calendar that really meets those needs. So we want to let you know about them. So the first thing coming up, it is next Saturday, October 5th. Dustin, Trisha, and Sheridan are leading a lead generation workshop. So lead gen was a big thing on that Facebook post, and it's on a Saturday. So if you're dual career and posted that, perfect opportunity for you to make the time to be there. We are having a registration link just so we can get an idea of attendance. So this right here, scan this QR code, take a picture of it, whatever you need to do, fill out that form. It is completely free. It's not charging or anything. It's just so we can get a number. But yeah, it's going to be really good. So
Last Saturday training went really well, and a tremendous amount of gratitude for Sheridan, Trisha, and Dustin for taking time on their Saturday, which is that's a business day, right? So stepping away from their business for this workshop is a really big deal. So.
And I feel like this. I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to say. If you know some other folks in the market center that aren't here in today's meeting, hit them up. Tell them, hey, listen, here's what's happening Saturday, October the 5th. Love to have you in there. So key.
And I feel like Legion too, like no matter what stage you are at in your business, whether you are very seasoned, you're brand new, Legion's still very essential in your job and it doesn't stop. So if you have any questions on Legion or you are feeling not the strongest in anything, this is going to benefit you no matter what, even if you feel like you're a pro at it. still come, you can learn some new stuff.
Do you have a lead gen story you can tell us for yourself personally?
Right?
Yeah. The day you all locked yourself in the room over there and
Oh,
started following? Yeah.
So I'm learning something and from texting and calling people, you all might have gotten text from me. Just, it takes time and work, and by the end, maybe my brain was a little spinning, but also I felt very fulfilled.
And you got results, right?
Yeah, there was tons of results,
Yeah.
and it just was really rewarding in the end, so it really paid off on Friday afternoon here, locked in the
Friday
office.
afternoon,
It really
everybody's
paid off.
chilling.
Rainy day, perfect way to spend it.
Let's just go lock ourselves in this room over here and call every single people on the roster.
You signed up, like 4, did you already say that, 4 full goals and 30 first steps
Yeah.
in about an hour and a half.
And we hadn't signed any up the entire week, or
So,
maybe
I
just
mean-
a handful.
And I think,
Well, lead generation,
Yeah, right.
right?
Yeah.
and that just proves though, like if you don't put any action into it, you're not gonna see it until you do it. Like you can't just wait around and hope that happens, so. Yeah. So another class we have coming up, so there's a few requests for commercial real estate. So if that is something that you are interested in, or you maybe dabbled in it, you gave up, or whatever it may be, Eli and Brian are teaming up to put on this class on Thursday, October 10th, after team meeting, so at 1:30. So if you're already here for team meeting, just stay and learn more. They're kind of setting it up like a Q&A session so that you can ask them questions, really narrow down what you need from them. They have a lot of experience in it. They're very successful in it, so.
Here's what I'm going to say. Hallie helped get this thing organized. And if you know these two fellas, you know how busy they are. And so Hallie is essentially hung the moon for you all, to get this class on the calendar. It is not something you want to miss. I have an agent every week asking me about commercial real estate in here.
Here's what these two gentlemen are at an elite level. Well, first thing, Brian Little is the commercial appraiser. He's a licensed commercial appraiser. So if you have a need there for anything or someone you're talking to, he does a fantastic job there. The two of them, they hear commercial conversations and they speak at that frequency. There are people in your all's world right now that probably need help with commercial opportunities, and we don't hear it. We don't know how to talk about it. All the real estate that they're also a testament, Eli especially is a testament to the power of a database. Guys, he sells millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate every year, off market. Never hits the market, sells things that aren't even on the market, and leases properties, big leases. So he understands the power of networking, and if you can bring a name to him, and he'll start asking you questions, and you tell him what they do, and he'll say, does he know this person? Does he know this? And within 3 people, Eli can get to that person.
I wonder what that is, Legion.
Yeah,
Next
there you go. So, well, it's powerful at a lot of levels. So get in there so that you can see these opportunities and know how to partner up with somebody.
Yeah, so there's another QR code for that as well. We are starting to use something called Eventbrite. That's what both of these links are taking you to. This is how we're gonna start, keeping track of just our attendance and knowing who's gonna come so we can better plan and serve you all. And whether there's a meal being provided or instructors, they say, hey, busy schedule, if it isn't this many people, then we're gonna have to reschedule. All of that kind of stuff plays a part. So yeah, make sure that you fill that out, and if you have any questions, reach out to me or anybody else on leadership. But yeah, it's gonna be a good day. So next week in the Market Center, so nothing on Monday, but Tuesday we have CMA and PBA literacy with Dustin Warren. So earlier you literally heard all the praises being sung about him. So I would take advantage of having a free class with him, where you can come and learn all about that.
You're gonna have the price reduction conversation. Your CMA is gonna need to be tight.
Also, remind him that Tuesday's the day after his birthday, so we'll just say happy belated birthday, and you see.
Yeah.
And stop.
Yeah. On Wednesday, you get me. So on Wednesday, we're going to be going over Canva. It's kind of going to be more of a workshop. So whenever you come in, kind of utilizing templates, kind of seeing your strengths and weaknesses with it. If you have any questions about how to utilize that in your marketing or anything like that, please make sure to be there Wednesday. On Thursday, we have team meeting with a special guest, Shannon Seelig. She's going to be talking about a business planning clinic we have coming up in late October. I believe it's October 30th. That is going to be from, I believe, 9 to 3 o'clock. Business planning for 2025 with David Huffaker. That's how you say it, yeah.
David Huffaker is super well known within the Keller Williams world. He has an expansion team. He's got an expansion platform. He primarily sells out of Nashville, and he and his team do north of 400 deals every year. He is someone who, I would say, he might be the Peter Chabris of the South. To give you a little context, David is excellent. You do not want to miss that. He will be here in person. So mark your calendars.
Gonna be good.
David Huffaker's go-to move is sitting down with all of the people in the sphere every year and doing a consultation on where their real estate portfolio is. If they only own one house, that's their portfolio. His team runs that play at a ridiculously high level, and they walk out with referrals, and they have some ironclad relationships and referral partners. And it starts with an equity analysis on your home. It's crazy.
After that, we have Command Kickstart and the Agent Productivity Zoom, $1 Million Coaching. This opportunity, it's free. It's over Zoom only though. And then obviously next Saturday, lead generation workshop. And then, I know you're sick of me. I blew up your Facebook feed yesterday too, and I apologize. But hey, we celebrated though all the full bowls. You can be one of them. I'll host you. Okay, anyway, so our business planning clinic that was originally for this Saturday has been rescheduled to October 17th after a team meeting next month at 1 p.m. I believe it's going to go from 1 to 3 o'clock. So you get 2 chances at a business planning clinic with 2 very different but yet very successful people. So come to both and take advantage of both the wisdom that they bring. So, and then the October training calendar is almost done. Completed. So be on the lookout for that thing. So, yeah.
Trifecta title is actually working. She obviously took her class first.
Oh, she wanted me.
Yeah, I was
okay.
I'm the same.
Oh, you're way back there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can stay up here with me because you might have something too. The thing that Anne Marie and I were talking about, you guys, the Market Center is an owner in this company. This is a JV. Joint venture, it's the only one that we have, right? So think about it this way, like if you were a Keller Williams agent, you would support Keller Williams products, you wouldn't go do your closings at like Remax, right? So this is your company. We want you guys to have a great experience, and one of the things you can do is when you write your contract as a term of the contract, you can actually request that the closing happens at Trifecta. So you can put into your closing that the buyer and seller agree to use Trifecta Title as the closing company. So if you need to do that, because again, this impacts profit and profit share. So us all using it actually helps you guys with your profit share goals. So, yeah.
Well, not only that, how many of you have ever had a deal and you asked the buyer who's doing the mortgage and they gave you an answer and you were like, ugh. Anybody?
Oh.
I didn't want to, I'm not going to name names, Rocket Mortgage, because I'm a professional, and I wouldn't do that. But you know, you guys know this, right? I mean, here's the thing, not every business is created equal. Not every agent is created equal, right? You know, there's a level of accountability that Trifecta has, because you know what? They're in there every single day. Dana knows it. Dana's in here every single day. She can't hide. She has an office right here in our market center, right? That's exactly right. Well, but at the same time too, that's a partnership, right? That's a partnership. You can go to Dana, you can go to Anne Marie, and you can say, hey, you know, there are a couple rough spots, you know, give them feedback. They want the feedback, right? So that's a partnership, and ultimately that creates the best experience.
One quick thing I forgot to say, these are new things we've not done. Trifecta can actually hold your earnest money. So if you don't want to like turn in earnest money and pick up earnest money for closing, you could literally give Anne Marie the earnest money and they apply it at closing. You can also do the pay at the table function, which means you walk in and close and they will hand you your commission check at the table. As long as your files are all uploaded and been checked for compliance, I think we need 2 to 3 days to just prior to approve the DA. wait for processing. You walk out of that closing with your check in hand. So that's something we've not really ever done, and because they're in-house and one office away from our NCA, you can be paid immediately at the table, so.
So I was gonna say, jump up or down up or I don't know if y'all know.
There's no way. Oh my God, they're so good. They're literally called.
She does that all the time, and I just hope that she has some of me knows it and appreciate that. If you have questions about your business, about, I mean, it could honestly be how the hurricane in Florida is gonna affect us here in Kentucky. I mean, but it really can. You'll be surprised. Believe it or not, the hurricane in Texas a few years ago made us like cattle sale, so you'll be surprised. If you don't know it, we are determined to figure it out with you, for you, whatever the case may be. Joseph, he applies himself to the growth of the company. We want this place to grow. We want to have as many agents as we can, and we want you guys to feel like you are successful. I guess, just money. I do a lot more than just money. I am here if you have questions about your commission, if you have questions about any of your, things in command and see, like for if you have questions about like what you're missing, anything like that, that is me. It's not just strictly money, there's a lot more that goes into it, but commission. Allie is social media training calendar. She is also hosting a class, so that way you guys can get flyers out to your all clients. You all can feel more confident with your social media posts. You can make it look different. You don't have to be just one of the same thing as everybody else. Lexi, she is in charge of command, so that way if you have some questions on how to do something in command, you call her. I'll tell you for missing documents. She's going to tell you how to upload the documents. Your license, if you have questions around your license, your licensing people, send them to her. If you all have referrals that are thinking about starting up with us, they want to know like the process of getting a real estate license, if they can make some of their money back, et cetera. If we have programs that partner together, that's Lexi. Go see her. She's going to tell you all kinds of information about that. Bo is your legal guy. If you have questions about the legality of something, you just best go speak to him because
Real
I'm
estate.
not going to tell you. Yeah, real estate. I mean, maybe not real estate. I mean,
I do a little freelance here and there. I get John out of a few cups, scrapes every now and then, for the most part.
He's got stories for everything. No, but he can't. He's been there.
Kristen is also all the time with money. If there's something that is going on, you feel like, it may be above my head, or it might just be a question if you feel like why and he'll go right ahead. Please also ask me just so I can be as advanced as he is, but if for some reason you feel like it's personal, you want to go back there, go back. Also text. That's who you're going to go see. If you have questions also regarding command, something like that, shoot me an email. If we can't figure it out, please definitely get out. So, yeah.
Okay. Real quick, guys, this is going to be, this is going to go relatively quick. I want to just pull your attention to, oh my God, y'all closed my window. What's up with that?
Kirsten did it. He walked in the head. I said, okay.
Come on.
You totally did. You said idiot. I acted out of everything. You just said it.
Sounds like the one that I can't miss.
Yeah, brother.
Wow, it's like find the buck and pass it. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Joseph.
All right, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and take both time, because I was gonna present as well. So on Tuesday, I was invited by the region, to talk on mastery of our MRA models, right? And the reason why that's important, the reason why leadership asked me to cover something that seems to be so foundational and basic is because guess what? Even as leaders, we don't run on models. And what I can promise you is agents right now in the industry, and it might even be you all in the room, like to stay in the creative space, like to do things you enjoy, and maybe don't always like the fundamental aspects of running a successful business, right?
And what I know to be true is that if we follow those 4 foundational models that Gary wrote about in the MREA, we have that elbow, right? E is for, anybody know? Huh?
Okay.
No, E is for the economic model, right? And the reason why economic model is important for every agent to think about or to implement or to just fill out as an activity is because we need to know what our actual net income goal is. If you don't know where you're going or don't know where you're currently at, you don't really know how to get there. And if you run the economic model based on your net income that you've chosen, you know what it does for you? It informs you exactly what activities you need to do to make that net income. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. Most of you in this room have a goal with a certain net income where guess what? You need to have 8 appointments a month. And you need to have 4 where you get an agreement on. So then you can get 2 to close. Okay? So what do you need to do every week to hold 2 appointments? That should be your focus. You get to that space because you've done the economic model. All right, what's L stand for? Legion, right? Nobody likes this one, right? And oftentimes you're going to hear people say, well, Legion can look like whatever it is you're willing to do. And while that is true, FISBOs and expires are bread and butter. Those are softball tosses that you knock out of the park. You give an expired and a FISBO a call, you show up, you leave an impression, you learn to sharpen your negotiation skills. Guess what you just became? A better realtor and one willing to do some base lead generation. The lead generation model allows you to take an inbound lead, create a contact, and you create a relationship, and you can get to the closing table. And then guess what you do after that? You do it all over again, right? And when we see our clients at closing, is that the last time we talk to them? No. It is not, right? It's just the beginning of a long, fruitful relationship, right? What's B? Budget model. Anybody running the budget model for their business? We got a couple, right? Tristan, you're our expert on the budget model. What does 30-30-40 mean?
30% cost of sale, 30% fixed expense, and 40% net income.
40% net income. So you're saying 70% needs to be allocated to 2 other things besides our net income. You said cost of sale and business expenses? Okay, give us an example of a cost of sale.
Your commission, your cap.
Okay.
Cap's the cost of sale.
Team members.
Yeah, buyer's agents, our cost of sale.
Referral fees.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like real estate ones.
Okay. What about coordination? Yeah, transaction coordination. What about business expenses? What should that look like?
Gas.
Okay.
Photography photos.
Phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Coaching, marketing.
Additional training.
Yeah. Professional development. Okay. Here's why that model is important. If you learn how to live off 40% of your net income, guess what you have? Profit. But then you have sustainability in the business. You want to be in the business a while, or you want to craft a system and a business where you have an exit strategy, right? You have a plan that when you get to your twilight years in real estate, you decide, okay, here's the plan. Here's what I've got in investments, equity, all these things, because you're running on model, okay? Last one is O. What does the O stand for?
Organization.
Org chart.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I see all the time? Agents make the wrong first hire. They don't slow down long enough to think, oh gosh, yeah, I got all this overflow business. I need somebody to show my houses, open doors, do that kind of thing. And so they hire a buyer's agent or they bring a buyer's agent. It's the wrong first hire. Sheridan, you run this play. What's the right first hire?
Get you an admin who can help handle the transaction.
That's right. You hire an admin. You hire potentially the future CEO of your 5th, 6th, 7th level business, right? And maybe you actually don't get that far, but that admin is the first hire that gives you the leverage you need to actually go be great and be in your sweet spot, right? The reason why these models are important is because people who are running those plays are having career years, are going to stick around in the business. And what I know to be true is there are 440,000 agents that were in business last year that are no longer in business this year, nationally. When we ended the year as a local board, we were at 4,200 last year. At the end of Q1, we were at 3,800. I'd have to look up the updated number, but that is a big gap. There's a lot of opportunity, is what I'm trying to say. If you can survive this market, you are going to absolutely crush the next market. And if there are gaps, it always comes down to these three things. There will be a gap in your activity, there will be a gap in your skill set, or there will be a gap in your mindset. Any obstacle or challenge that you face over the next coming months are always going to be tied to activity, skill set, and mindset. There's no other place to be than in this office to address those three things. You have a leadership team that cares a lot about you, and we want to have the conversation. All right, that's all I've got.
Let me show you one thing. Yeah, thank you, Coach. That's very helpful now. Let me show you something too. This is kind of a nice little, before you take this down. So if you notice on the operating expenses here, you see that's compensation, right? $360,000. That's compensation being paid to the people that are running this play when we're doing 30% cost of sale, 30% operating, and 40% net income. So for a lot of real estate agents, their business looks like this. That's the money I make. Yes? Okay, so here's my question. Do you pay yourself to run your business? Does your business pay you a salary? Right? Tara's coaching business, the LLC that owns that, it pays her a salary to run that business. I have an LLC for all of my bold work and things like that, and any speaking or whatever I do there. It pays me a salary, a monthly salary. I'm a W-2 employee to the company that I own. Here's the other thing. I can turn around, I can set up an IRA through, or 401k through the company that I own. I can put my money in there, right? Pre-tax, defer taxes on it. My company can actually match what I put into it, and it becomes a write-off to me as the owner of the company. So many great strategies that you can use, and yet at the same time too, I know a lot of agents are like, well, this is what's left over after I pay my bills with the commission. Build your business model, and if you have questions around it, build your business model on it being able to pay you. The owner of this team and this particular numbers they're throwing up here, this person is basically compensating themselves as well. So just something to kind of think about there. All right, so real quick, let me just flip back over to Dot Loop. All right, so I want to talk about, we're seeing a lot of cooperative compensation agreements out there. We're seeing some people are asking for them, and they may not need to, right? Some of them are asking us to provide them, and they aren't really looking at the contract specific to it. Guys, when you do your purchase agreement, you've got basically buyer, broker, commission. That's you. You're bringing the buyer, you're looking for your commission. Select 1 and or 2 as appropriate, or number 3. So it could be 1 and 2, or it could be just 3. Start off with 3. Buyer shall pay all buyer broker commission owed to buyer's broker at closing. That is your buyer paying you your commission. With me? If I got that one, that's an easy one. So here's where it gets a little bit blurry for some of our folks in the field. And again, you don't have to teach a class to the person on the other end, right? Listen, respond with empathy, walk them through it, right? Don't get combative, right? Put the deal together. Make doing business with you easy, okay? And I promise you they'll appreciate it. Number 1, seller's broker shall pay a cooperating commission. With me? So the seller has hired a broker, and the broker has what? Negotiated the commission for both sides to be included. Is that how we used to do it? Right? We listed a house 6%, right? So in number 1, they basically have made a decision. The seller's like, heck yeah, John, I think we got to pay these folks because we get the house sold. So I'll pay the commission. Great. And the way we verify that, right, is through a separate cooperation compensation or commission agreement between the brokers. Okay, so that's, everybody knows that document, it's a little half page. So that's where you're gonna send it over. And they're verifying the fact that, yes, John, I have got the commission built in, and my seller has agreed to pay it. Kind of like we used to do, right? You do a percentage or a flat fee, right? Just check the box. Now, that's number one. Kind of think of that as the kind of the way we always used to do it, right? You know what I mean? So now, and then you're verifying it with the cooperative compensation or cooperative commission agreement. Number two, the seller agrees to pay buyer's broker on behalf of the buyer. Okay, so here's the difference. And number one, the broker's paying it on the other side. Now, we know the seller, right, signed a listing agreement and allowing 6% to be taken out. And yet there are going to be some sellers that are going to be like, no, I'm only going to pay 3%, right? And you're going to write your offer in that respect. You're going to basically say, okay, the seller's going to pay the buyer's broker on behalf at closing as follows. So in this particular instance, you're going to put this information in, you're going to send it in, and it's coming out of the seller's net. Now, if they agree to pay it up front, or they take it out of their net, all things being equal, they end up at the same number. Yes. And yet it's very, very important that we make that distinction, right? Because some sellers are going to say, what? I'll pay 3, I'm not paying 6. And then you're going to bring your offer and you're going to do what? You're going to ask the seller to pay the 3, right? And then they're going to do what? Make a decision, right? Yes, sir.
I had 3 different instances in the last 2 weeks where the buyer's agent has refused to check one and not send a compensation agreement, when we have an agreement already in place with the broker, obviously you sign the exclusive right to sell. What do you want us to say on the listing side? Because like they only want to leave it as 2 because they're saying the seller's paying it. Obviously we all understand the seller's paying it, but in that instance, like I have an agreement in my exclusive right to sell and I'm charging 6, paying 3. Like,
And the buyers,
the buyer's agent says they've been instructed to not ever select box 1, always select box 2. Therefore, they're not going to check box 1. They're not going to send me a compensation agreement.
Yeah.
Because they don't think the broker's paying them. They think the seller's paying. We've been able to work through it, but I mean, is there any? I mean,
at the end of the day, as long as the math works out,
sure.
you've listed the home. The agreement is they're going to pay you as 3% as the listing agent. They're going to pay a cooperating 3%, right? And if they don't want to do the agreement, the only time that would be a wrinkle, Sheridan, would be if they check box 1 and they wouldn't do a commission and compensate cooperation agreement. If they're going box number 2 just pretty much is like protects them, if you will, right? It pretty much protects them. And here's the other piece too. You got to be mindful of the fact that their buyer's rep agreement has a certain number on it, right? So if they're going to ask for a cooperative compensation agreement, then it's got to match up, right? But to answer your question, now go down a rabbit hole. If they don't want to sign it and they're checking number 2, even though you know you're holding it, right? Then I would just roll with that.
From like a file standpoint, if we go that route, does my exclusive right to sell need to get changed? If there's all things being equal and matching up, and in theory, there's still a 3% being paid, but it's not being on the form being paid as cooperating commissions or compensation rather. So I just want to make sure, because like when I took a class the other day, that said, the buyer's rep agreed to something different.
Yeah.
You ought to have the buyer's rep updated as well. You take 2 versus the 3, have that updated. I mean, it's not gonna make a difference to me. It's like,
Technically,
but
to go to your question, the way you're serving that up is the seller's broker is going to pay you 6% to list the house, and then they're asking you to pay another 3%. That's 9%.
Sure.
That's really what the gist of it is, right? So when you're protecting your seller, right? As long as you're on the same page there and kind of know where you're at. It's a great form. I don't think it has a whole lot of holes in it, right? And yet, there are some brokers that don't necessarily understand it, and you're dealing with the fear of somebody worried you're not going to get paid. Which is funny because here's what we see. We see them check box number 2 and still send a cooperative compensation agreement. Which basically, when you check box 2, you're basically saying, you know what, we're going to get paid,
and it's coming out of the seller's net. Now, if the seller has already agreed to pay that out of their portion, then you're fine, you can go ahead and move forward. So,
I mean, it says it right there, pursuant to the separate.
Yeah.
I asked John Groff if he would put a separate box in there, because he's on the forms committee or whatever, to say like, check this, to where it's like implied, because it does kind of fall in there, it should be bolded and underlined, like there is some other things, but.
I know agents that they do stay here, right? Because they feel like that's the safest bet, right? And yet, again, you're probably not going to impede moving the deal forward, right?
Just had an instance with an agent in our office where the other side asked them for a copy of their buyer's rep agreement, and I think we can all say,
Yeah.
that's not something we send to
Yeah.
the other side, right?
Yep.
And that
You don't have to
agent, that agent.
I called the broker on that.
Should never ask.
Yeah. I called the broker on that teaching moment, right? And I've actually done that on several occasions with several things. Then people call me from time to time, right? And they just, I don't think anybody's ever calling from a place of anger there. I think it's really more of a, at least that's what I choose to believe, and that's where I come from. I'm like, hey, a potential teaching moment, for your agent Bob, or Fred or Sally, whatever, right? So, but yeah, hey, this is better than, it's better than Ohio and Indiana, because I look at those contracts too. This is pretty nice. The way this folds into the buyer's rep agreement as well as the exclusive right to sell, it's pretty congruent, right? I've got a question from a couple of you about whether I need to sign as a broker on some of these forms. And I'm muddled. Nobody really wants to give me like a straight answer on that. And my freaking dot loop is just like ping, 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 right? And yet I do want to tell you this: if you put that exclusive right to sell together, you don't have my signature, right? You're still fine. I mean, right? And if I sign it 3 days later, you're okay. What you don't want to do, because I have a lot of agents that like want to get my signature going in, don't let it hold you up, right? Don't let it hold you up, because you had somebody go, hey, you sent that cooperative compensation agreement over, it doesn't have your broker's signature on it. We got a problem. Just send it to me all the time. Pretty good at getting to most of them, right? Most all of them, like in a pretty quick time frame. So just in some states, Indiana, the agents don't have to get them. I mean, we never had you guys, I never signed your exclusive right to sales before, right? The one I get is an agent from another firm sends me the cooperative compensation agreement verifying the commission. I have no idea what it is. That's your money. So I usually tell them you need to talk to the agent. I won't sign a cooperative commission agreement unless it's got your all signature on it. I just don't. I kick them back and tell them to contact the agent. Because I don't know the commission, right? Some brokers just don't care because they're getting their part regardless, right? Just take it out. Anyways. Rabbit hole. All right, there we go. But great question. Thanks, Sheridan. We'll see a little bit. I think the adoption of the forms is at a super high level right now, and I think they're getting a lot of feedback. If you guys have feedback, get it to the board, right? Keep talking to John.
They want it.
Yeah, they did. And I'm telling you what, they nailed this thing pretty strong. You got to remember, guys, this is the old new contract. Remember, we had the old contract, right? That we had for 100 years. Then we got the new one. Some adopted, some didn't. And then now this is the same exact contract except for line 64 to 76. That's what they stuck in there. So if you've been using the new contract, that's the only thing that changed on it. So you're like that much ahead of the game. And I love it when I hear people say, please send the legacy contract. My clients aren't comfortable with the new one. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They get both of them to read. John, which one do you want to use? I mean, I think that's a chuckle. My clients don't like that contract. They don't. My goodness.
But what do you do?
What do you do? You got
You got to write it up.
Yeah.
Do your job, present your offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you seller make that call.
I'm saying they like me on the showing.
Oh.
John, if you decide to move forward, please use the legacy contract. What's that?
I think everybody started pulling that off.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's why it happened. I don't know if they were really smart or figured it all out, but the reason people are going back to the new contract is because the old one doesn't have that.
Yep.
They got you, they got us on that deal. And that was like, which is, I got a lot of people using that contract and seeing that contract, that never used it before simply because of that.
Well,
Yep,
John said, I said to John class the other day,
John Brock.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
he said if I can
Yeah,
not misquote, but
yeah.
basically said, you don't use this contract for hanging yourself in the wind.
Yes. So, guys, it wasn't, this contract was built for everything post NARSA. And our entire industry changed. You know, the new exclusive right to sell, the buyer's rep agreement, the cooperative compensation agreement, all those things. Remember the fever, remember the fear and anxiety over this? And you guys have taken this in stride. I've not had a single deal that blew up because of something they've changed with these new contracts. I just haven't. And I think you guys are actually holding your customers, I think you got a better grip on them. I think the buyer's rep agreement is making sure that the ones you are working with, they're committed. I just think they are. It's a little bit of a hoop jump through. So that's it. So we're right on the end of our time here together. Alexis, anything to add?
The only thing I have to add is we are doing licensing calls. They are going to YouTube. It's just honestly easier for you guys.
Yeah.
We
got a library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to find. It's easier to save. If you're not able to make it in class, if you're on vacation, etc., you're able to pull it up from the YouTube channel and actually be able to be a part of it. And we're going to post it on our Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
Other than that, that is all I have. And thank you guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Well, hey, if you see Dana, give her a thumbs up. Lunch was fantastic. If you had one of those little sandwiches Tristan made, John, did you have one? They're pretty tasty. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Well done. Thanks, guys.
Allie, we appreciate you bringing in.
Hey, up there, man, dropping bombs at the front of the room.
This is going up to Angus Trail and all the sites, make sure the sign is out and, everything trying to get done with this. Yeah. Hurricane, yeah, my golf. We're still playing like the third annual invitation tournament. And then that's the job, yesterday, we're monitoring.
Hang on.
What are you trying to do?
End it. Stop.
I didn't.
And the